We need to take people from what they already know to what they don't know yet. And we lead them by the hand, giving them little stepping stones of information to help them to get to their new destination, being more cleverer. When I'm running a Bible study group with a bunch of kids, or adults for that matter, I try to ask questions that get a real relational discussion happening. But we've all been in that group where the question has been thrown out and it doesn't seem to go anywhere, just silence. But comprehension questions aren't the bad guy. You might be thinking, oh, it's probably because they're asking a closed question. Maybe not. It's how you use comprehension questions that make a huge difference. People usually say comprehension questions shut down discussion. Well, they do if it's all you use, but let me show you how to use quick-fire comprehension questions to kick off and build momentum in a discussion. So, if I ask a bunch of kids a really solid, challenging question like, what does it mean to be a fisher of men? I don't think I'm going to get much of a response. Crickets. I don't know. I think I know, but I don't want to be the first one to say anything. Or if I say something, I might be wrong. It's a really big question. Yeah, well, it's a big question. It's actually a fantastic question. It's not closed. It's not just yes or no or God, Jesus, Bible. No, it's ripe for a great discussion, but it actually needs some of those closed, basic, easy comprehension questions to level the playing field. You want to take your audience from what they already know, step by step, to what they don't know yet. Now, the trick with comprehension questions is to fly through them. I like to call them the 3 Qs, quick comprehension questions. Now, if you spend too long on a simple question that's really easy, the group is going to think that you think they're a bunch of idiots. Now, you know they're not stupid. The answer to these questions that you throw out are very simple. If no answers in a few seconds, answer it yourself and then throw out another question, expecting a response. And they'll get the idea that you're expecting them to get involved. These questions are going to be like stepping stones from where they are to the destination you want them to end up. You can also use them to give a bit of helpful background information to your group. So let's use the example from before. What does it mean to be a fisher of men? By itself, the question seems kind of pretty intimidating. It's like trying to get them to jump from their stepping stone all the way across to the final answer. And here are the stepping stones that I might use to help people understand this concept. So let's count how many questions I ask along the way. All right, let's begin. So here's the question. What does it mean to be a fisher of men? Okay, everyone. Jesus was talking to his disciples and they were fishermen. What do fishermen do? Super easy. They go fishing. What happens to fish when they're pulled out of the water? They die. What happens to people when you pull them out of the water? They were going to drown, but what happens? They live. So Jesus wants his friends to fish for men, to save men from drowning. Do you think Jesus wants them to become lifeguards? Now the momentum is built, there's a more difficult question that might welcome a pause to think and discuss. What danger are the men in that Jesus wants them to be saved from? The kids might start talking about the dangers of being fishermen and maybe being out on a boat, maybe big waves or sharks. You might want to keep digging there and ask them another question like, what's even worse than sharks? What's the big thing that gets in the way of our relationship with us and God? What's the most dangerous thing in the world? Sin. So Jesus wants to save people from sin. How can the disciples save people from their sin? And then they might start to talk about how we can't save ourselves from sin, but who can save us from sin? That Jesus can save us from sin. They didn't know it fully yet at the time that Jesus was going to die for the sins of the whole world, but I'll tell you, when Jesus rose back to life, I bet they really understood what it meant to be fishers of men then. So Jesus would be saving people's lives through the disciples telling them about Jesus. So when we tell other people about Jesus, it's throwing them a lifeline. So let me ask the question again. What does it mean to be a fisher of men? It means to save people by introducing them to Jesus. I think we really underestimate the amount of stepping stones that people need to get from what they know already to what they don't know yet. Sometimes the really dumb, obvious questions are necessary to help slingshot your discussion to the next level. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you next time.